Today we are tying a baitfish imitation using EP fibers. This particular fly is pretty small. It's designed to mimic the finger mullet we have here in the low country. The finger mullet is it's a staple diet food for a lot of fish. The sea trout, redfish, flounder, stripers, you name it, and it's super easy to tie. This isn't a mullet that you would normally think of. This is a baitfish fly. The mullet is a migratory fish that come into the low country to spawn, and they reside here during the summertime. They leave in the fall. The big bull redfish love these fish. They eat them quite readily. Smaller redfish will go up onto the flats and chase these things around. Really productive fly. This particular color I have here for us is a light tan and a brown color. I find it's a great color combination, but you can do this in any color you want. The light tan and brown I think is good for the murky water that we have here. But you can also add a little splash of color whenever you'd like. When we're tying this, don't be afraid to go crazy and adding too much, because we're going to trim this fly up quite a bit here at the end of the video. I like to tie this kind of like I'm tying bucktail, where I do a few wraps and then I push it back and I really splay it out so it's standing straight up. And I'll do this around the entire hook shank so that it is 360 degrees around the hook shank and not flat like your typical EP fly. I do this for a number of reasons. It moves a ton of water, adds quite a bit of bulk to the front of the fly, and it helps it suspend in the water, I believe, when using a floating or an intermediate line. You can see that I'm really pushing this back super tight, like I'm packing deer hair. Again, going back to trying to build a big head on this fly. Finishing up here with the head, you'll notice that I do a couple whip finishes, and then we're on to trimming. So stay tuned and check out the way I trim this fly. So you will notice here that when I'm going to trim this fly, I pinch the fibers tight against the shank of the hook, and what this does is it pushes up all the uneven fibers. I do trim those perfectly parallel with the shank of the hook, and the reason being is this will provide a nice taper back to the tail. When I do this, I'm taking my time and going around the hook at least a dozen times. This allows for good trimming, and just be careful. If you take off too much, you will have to start over. Good luck with this, and if you ever have questions, feel free to reach out.